With the NFL season starting this week, it's time to let you know 5 things that are going to happen that you probably wouldn't expect. These are my bold predictions. Like and subscribe, and let's get into it. First, it won't sound bold to the casual fan, but there will be only 2 teams out of the AFC West to make the playoffs. That in and of itself would be pretty surprising to some based on all the preseason hype for this division. But what if I told you those 2 teams would be the Chargers and the Raiders? This division is going to beat itself up and likely have many splits in regular season matchups. I believe this will lead to these teams all ending up in the 9-8 to 12-5 range. In the AFC, you'll likely need a minimum record of 10-7, if not 11-6, to get into the postseason. I have a video going into detail why the Chiefs might miss the playoffs, so I won't go too in depth here. But it boils down to a treacherous schedule and a decrease in talent on both sides of the ball. For the Broncos, it comes down to injury, and I just believe in the Chargers and Raiders full team more than I do in Denver. I think all of these teams would be playoff teams in the NFC, or even if they weren't all in the same division. But somebody has to lose when they play each other in 12 games this season. My next bold prediction is that Najee Harris will lead the league in rushing yards. I know Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon, and others will have something to say about that. I also know that the Steelers of the past threw the ball 500 times per game, even if they had a lead. However, this is not Big Ben's Steelers. There are 2 things going in Najee's favor to lead the league. 1. Pittsburgh should run the ball more than last year because they will have either Mitchell Trubisky or Kenny Pickett at quarterback. And whenever they run, it will be Najee with the ball in his hands. At nearly 4 yards per attempt, he should reach 325 attempts this year easily. If he stays healthy, he'll rack up the numbers quickly, and I'm glad he's on a couple of my fantasy teams. Nearly every year, there's a team that goes from worst in the division to first. I'm going to predict that team this year is going to be the Baltimore Ravens. They were 8-9 last year, suffered a lot of injuries, and just struggled offensively at times, which is not normal for this group. I know they traded away their top receiver, but they still have Mark Andrews and Rashad Bateman. They get J.K. Dobbins back, and will have Mike Davis and eventually Gus Edwards to help in the backfield. Look for them to lead the league in rushing as a team, and with the defense they've built, they should be able to keep leads fairly easily. They'll be a ball control team for sure. They might have the top secondary in the league with the additions of Kyle Fuller and Marcus Williams. It'll be tough to beat the Bengals in their own division, but if they can slow down their receiving core and keep the ball out of Burrow's hands, I think that will be the recipe for victory. So I do have a bit of a homer prediction, but the rookie wide receiver that will have the best season this year will be Jahan Dotson. Now hear me out, it's really only between him, Drake London, Chris Olave, and George Pickens, unless a Sky Moore or someone else comes from out of nowhere. These 4 are the only ones that should be available to play starting in week 1 and are surefire starters on their team. Next, you look at their quarterback situations. To me, this eliminates London. Marcus Mariota will run and dump off to the running back and tight end. George Pickens has the worst quarterback situation between the remaining 3, but has the best coach. So there's definitely a possibility he has a solid year. I just think that Dotson, and the offense that he's in, and with the weapons that he'll share the field with, should be the one that gets the least attention from defenses and should be able to benefit greatly. Olave will have to be the wide receiver 2 starting right away, and possibly the wide receiver 1 at times if Thomas can't stay healthy. Pickens is in a similar situation to Dotson in that respect, but I think his quarterback play will hurt him more. Look for the 3 I mentioned to all hit or get close to 1,000 yards, but with Dotson outshining them all. Lastly, let's look ahead to the Super Bowl matchup. I'll start with the NFC as I think it'll be the slightly easier one to predict. There are probably only 3 teams that have a legit shot at making it all the way from this side: the Buccaneers, Rams, and Packers. They should each win their division and have elite quarterback play. They all will have really good defenses as well. The Bucs and Rams stuff the run better than most teams in the league, and the Packers keep an elite secondary and solid pass rush. The first team of the 3 that I'll eliminate, though, will be the Packers, as it just seems to be Aaron Rodgers' MO at this point to have an MVP caliber regular season and then fall short in the postseason. If it comes down to the Rams and Bucs, then I'll have to go with Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to make it to the Super Bowl. They'll be able to spread the Rams out and just keep pushing the ball down the field. I cannot bet against Brady in this situation. Taking our attention to the AFC, there are far more teams with a legitimate chance of making it to the Super Bowl. 2 of them I've already predicted will miss the playoffs, just based on how crazy their division and conference are. So let's look at who is left. Chargers, Raiders, Titans, Bengals, Ravens, and the Bills. 6 teams that I wouldn't be shocked at all if they made it to the big game. I'll cut it to the 3 best quarterbacks out of this group because that is where we are in this league right now. So that leaves the Chargers, Bengals, and Bills. I love Lamar, I promise this isn't hate. And of those 3, 2 should have far better defenses than the other, so that gives us the Bills and the Chargers. Between these two teams, I have to go with the one that as a unit has had some postseason experience and success. The Bills will represent the AFC in the Super Bowl and take on Tom Brady and Tampa Bay. And my official, on the record, no clickbait prediction for Super Bowl champions this year will be the Buffalo Bills. Thanks for watching. Let me know your bold predictions and who you think will win the Super Bowl down in the comments. Like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.